In the spotlight tonight is John Bald from Linton, a literacy specialist, and his subject is the naval careers of Nelson and Collingwood. Bernie Doza from Cheshire, a television extra and student, and his subject is the life and works of Primo Levi. Katie Bramall from London, a doctor, and her subject, the pop duo Erasure. And Chris Bitton from Devon, an IT manager, and his chosen subject is Sir David Attenborough. I'm John Humphreys, and welcome to Mastermind, the supreme test of nerve and knowledge. Tonight's contenders will each take the short walk to the black chair, where they will answer 2 minutes of questions. First on their specialist subject, and then on their general knowledge. And their ultimate aim, to win the glass bowl. More importantly, to be crowned the nation's mastermind. So, let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
John Bald.
Your occupation?
Literacy specialist.
And your chosen subject?
The naval careers of Nelson and Collingwood.
In 2 minutes, starting now. Horatio Nelson wrote to Earl St Vincent after which battle, claiming that a left-handed admiral will never again be considered as useful?
Tenerife.
Correct. In June 1779, Nelson was promoted to post-captain of the Hinchinbrook, and Cuthbert Collingwood succeeded him as the commander of which brig?
The Badger.
Yes, during a voyage to the Arctic in 1773, Nelson had to be rescued after trying to kill which animal as a prize for his father?
Polar bear.
Yes, just before Trafalgar, Nelson sent which of Collingwood's admirals back to Britain despite having to sacrifice a 98-gun ship to take him?
Sir Robert Calder.
Correct. Nelson's first experience of action came in 1775. He was serving on which ship that engaged an armed ketch in the service of Hyder Ali?
Pass.
During the Battle of St Vincent, Collingwood forced which 74-gun Spanish ship to raise the British flag before he sailed on to aid Nelson?
San Isidro.
Yes. Collingwood was given command of his first second-rate ship, HMS Prince, in 1793. Whose flagship did she become shortly afterwards?
George Bowyer.
Correct. Which of Nelson's uncles was the captain of his first ship, HMS Raisonnable?
Suckling.
Yes. After Trafalgar, Collingwood transferred his flag from the badly damaged Royal Sovereign to which frigate?
The Euryalus.
Correct. In 1784, Nelson travelled to the West Indies on HMS Boreas, accompanied by his brother William. What was William's role on the ship?
Chaplain.
Yes. Collingwood was in command of HMS Pelican when it was wrecked off which group of islands southeast of Jamaica during a hurricane in 1781?
Leeward Islands.
Morant Keys. In July 1799, Nelson refused repeatedly to follow Lord Keith's orders to leave Italian waters and sailed to where?
Leghorn.
The waters off Minorca. Collingwood was serving on HMS Hornet when he was court-martialed on a charge of disobedience and breach of the captain's instructions. What was the name of the captain?
Harwell.
No, Haswell. In his dying moments, Nelson requested Hardy not to do what with his body?
Bury it at sea.
Yes, throw it overboard. While they were serving together in the Caribbean in 1784, Nelson and Collingwood enforced which naval laws against foreign merchant ships?
The Navigation Acts.
Correct. During the Battle of the Nile, Nelson ordered vanguards, I've started so I shall finish, only serviceable boat to be sent to the aid of sailors jumping from which French flagship?
L'Orient.
L'Orient is correct. You had just one pass. It was HMS Seahorse that gave him his first experience of action. John Ball, that one pass, 12 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Bernie Doza.
Your occupation?
TV extra and student.
And your chosen subject?
The life and works of Primo Levi.
Primo Levi in 2 minutes, starting now. What disease did Levi contract at Auschwitz which saved him from being evacuated on the death march that killed most of the other prisoners?
Scarlet fever.
Correct. Which major publishing house based in Turin initially rejected Levi's book, If This Is a Man, on the advice of the writer Natalia Ginzburg?
Einaudi.
Correct. What was the surname on the false identity card that Levi was using when he was captured by Italian fascists in December 1943?
Pass.
Levi's novel entitled If Not Now, When ends with a newspaper report of which event?
Pass.
Levi was interned in which Italian concentration camp north of Modena before being sent to Auschwitz?
Fossoli.
Correct. In Other People's Trades, Levi's answers to which question include to free oneself from anguish, to become famous, to become rich, and out of habit?
Why to be a writer?
Yes. What was the name of the Jewish poet and fascist supporter who was sent to Auschwitz in the same railway truck as Levi but was found dead on arrival?
Pass.
In Levy's book entitled The Periodic Table, what's the only inert or noble gas to appear as a chapter heading?
Argon.
Correct. What was the name of the bricklayer from Fasano who was a civilian worker at Auschwitz where he befriended Levy?
Lorenzo Peroni.
Correct. At which lakeside town near Turin was the Duco Research Laboratory where he resumed his pre-war career as a research chemist in January 1946?
Pass.
In 1966, he began a long correspondence with which German woman who helped put him back in touch with Dr. Meyer, a civilian chemist who'd worked at Auschwitz?
Hetty Smith-Mars.
Correct. In 1979, which of Levy's books won the prestigious Strager Prize 16 years after he'd failed to win it for The Truce?
If This Is a Man?
No, The Wrench. During his long journey back to Italy, Levy spent a few months in a transit camp in the suburb of Boguzetsi, near which Polish city?
Pass.
What is the surname of the character who works for an American company called Natka and appears in a number of short stories, including The Measure of Beauty and Full Employment?
Mr. Simpson.
Correct. On which Turin Street was Levy's flat, where he died in 1987 by falling down a stairwell in an apparent suicide?
Corso Re Umberto.
Correct. In The Truce, I've started, so I'll finish. What name does he give to the Greek whom he befriends on the journey to Katowice?
Mordo Nahum.
That is correct. You had 5 passes altogether. Boguzetsi is near Katowice. Aviliana was the lakeside town. Arturo Fo was the name of the man who died before he got to Auschwitz. Hiroshima is how he ended his novel, If Not Now When. And Ferrero was the surname on that false identity card. Bernie Doza, 10 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Katie Bramall.
Your occupation?
Doctor.
And your chosen subject?
The pop group Erasure.
The pop group Erasure, in 2 minutes, starting now. Which publication did Vince Clarke advertise for a vocalist in 1985, leading to the audition where he met Andy Bell and formed Erasure?
Melody Maker.
Correct. Erasure's debut single in the UK was made with which independent record label owned by Daniel Miller?
Mute.
Yes. What name was given to Erasure's live performance video made during their 87 Circus tour?
Live at the Seaside.
Correct. Which 88 album was produced by Stephen Hague, replacing Mark Ellis, who'd produced Erasure's first 2 albums?
The Innocents.
Yes. What name was given to their tour of the UK, Europe and North America in 1992?
The Phantasmagorical Entertainment.
Yes, their ABBA-esque EP featured 4 cover versions of ABBA songs: Voulez-vous Take a Chance on Me, SOS, and which other?
Lay All Your Love on Me.
Yes, the duo brought in 2 backing singers for their 86 Wonderland tour. One was Jim Berkman. Who was the other?
Derek Ian.
Yes, Erasure recorded a version of which classic Ike and Tina Turner song, which was included on the CD of The Innocents?
River Deep Mountain High.
Yes, the duo supported which British band on an American tour in the summer of 87?
Duran Duran.
Yes, which track on the 92 album Pop, the first 20 hits, had only reached number 100 in the charts when it was released as a single in the UK in 85?
Heavenly Action.
Yes, what's the name of their 2006 studio album containing old material reinterpreted in an acoustic or country and western style?
Union Street.
Yes, the backing vocals on the 89 single Drama feature an uncredited performance from members of which band?
The Jesus and Mary Chain.
Yes, which Christmas song written by Clarke and Bell features on Crackers International?
God Rest You Merry Gentlemen.
She Won't Be Home. The tracks Angel and Rock Me Gently on the Erasure album feature vocals from which singer who was also signed to the Mute record label?
Diamanda Galas.
Correct. In September 1990, Erasure returned from America at the end of their Wild tour to play at which British outdoor venue?
Milton Keynes Bowl.
Yes, on their 2003 album Other People's Songs, which track written by Robert Maxwell and Carl Sigman was originally a hit in America by the Righteous Brothers in 65?
You've Lost That Loving Feeling.
Ebb Tide. Erasure collaborated with which female singer on the 91 album Tame Yourself, which was recorded in support of an animal rights charity?
Lena Lovitch.
Yes, which is the only song on the Wonderland album to have been written solely by Andy Bell?
Cry So Easy.
Correct. What was on the B-side of the 7-inch single Who Needs Love Like That, which gave the duo their chart debut when it reached number 55 in October 85?
Push Me Shove Me.
Push Me Shove Me is correct. No passes. Katie Rammel, 17 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Chris Bitton.
Your occupation?
IT manager.
And your specialist subject?
The life and career of Sir David Attenborough.
Sir David Attenborough in 2 minutes, starting now. David Attenborough and his brothers Richard and John attended which grammar school in Leicester?
Charnwood.
Wiggleston. What was the name of the BBC television department handling non-fiction broadcasts in which he became a member of the production staff in 52?
Talks.
Yes, according to his memoirs Life on Air, in which town did Attenborough undergo his preliminary national service training in the Royal Navy?
Rosyth.
Gosport. Which Czechoslovakian-born photographer was Attenborough's cameraman in the ZooQuest series?
Charles Lakers.
Yes, in The Private Life of Plants, Attenborough was able to stand on the top of which flat-top mountain he'd previously failed to reach in ZooQuest to Guyana?
Rotorua.
Roraima. In 1962, he went back to university to study anthropology at which institution?
LSE.
Yes, which sporting event did Attenborough choose to launch BBC Two's first colour transmission in July 67?
Wimbledon tennis.
Yes, in Life on Earth, which living relative of the trilobites was filmed in huge numbers at Cape May in New Jersey?
King crab.
Yes, or horseshoe crab. What was the name of the resident geologist at Leicester Museum who allowed Attenborough to help him classify and identify fossils when he was a schoolboy?
Hopkins.
Gregory. What was the name of the giant sacred didgeridoo that was presented to him during Quest under Capricorn?
The Jernlacher.
Yes. Attenborough climbed to the top of which tree in the living planet to observe life in a tropical rainforest?
Pass.
In 75, he presented which BBC children's programme that dealt with creatures of legend and myth?
Pass.
Attenborough had to hastily leave a meeting with the Board of Trustees of the British Museum in order to observe a volcanic eruption in which country as part of the Living Planet series?
Iceland.
Yes. Which Tongan ceremony was he invited to film by Queen Salotte, only for the rushes to be destroyed in floods?
Pass.
Who appointed Attenborough to the post of controller of BBC Two in 1965?
Hugh Green.
Hugh Weldon. Which major series narrated by Attenborough and broadcast in 2006 was the first natural history programme to be filmed in high definition?
The Blue Planet.
Planet Earth. In ZooQuest to Paraguay, there was an unsuccessful attempt to capture a giant species of which animal known to locals as Tatu careta?
The Armadillo.
Correct. The first programme in which series was devoted, I'll finish the question, to the Dogon people who live just south of the Western Sahara in Mali?
Tribal Eye.
Tribal Eye is correct. You had 3 passes. Tumafa Kava was the Tongan ceremony. Fabulous Animals was the name of that programme he did for children, as you now know,
Yes.
of course. And it was the kapok tree he climbed to the top of. 3 passes. Chris Bitton, 9 points. So that's the end of the first round, the specialist subjects. Let's have a look at the score. In 4th place with 9 points, Chris Bitton. 3rd place with 10 points, Bernie Doza. 2nd place, 12 points, John Bald, close so far, but in the lead with 17 points, Katie Bramall. Round 2 now, general knowledge, and if there's a tie at the end of the round, then the number of passes get taken into account, which is why it's usually better to take an educated guess rather than to pass. So let's get on with that round and ask Chris Bitton to join us again, please. And you chose as your subject the man whom the nation trusts, let's put it like that. Extraordinary man, and we know for what he does on telly now, but he ran BBC Two, of course.
Of course, yes, and was Deputy Director of Programmes for the whole of the BBC network as well, subsequently. So.
Quite, and he's the man who gave us snooker. You don't sort of associate snooker somehow, do you, with...
Well, and Rugby League, of course.
And Match of the Day.
Yes.
What's your favourite bit? We all have our sort of favourite bits of Attenborough, don't we? What's yours?
My favourite bit goes back to the ZooQuest days, when he was walking through the New Guinea jungle and 50 cannibals advanced him waving stone axes and making threatening gestures. And he walked up and shook hands with them.
Yes, he
It's
would.
always appealed to my sense of humour.
Right, well, you've got 9 points. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. Which television quizmaster is played by the former League of Gentlemen star Mark Gatiss in the film Starter for 10?
Pass.
Which royal house symbolised the union of the houses of York and Lancaster?
Tudor.
Yes. Who became the first American-born world chess champion when he beat Boris Spassky in Reykjavik in 1972?
Bobby Fischer.
Yes. Which river joins the Murray 400 miles from Adelaide to form Australia's longest river system?
The Darling.
Yes. In 96, which British violinist released an album of his own compositions entitled Kafka?
Nigel Kennedy.
Yes. What's the popular title of the 1726 novel Travels into Several Remote Nations of the World in which 2 countries are at war over the correct way to eat a boiled egg?
Pass.
Which poisonous reptiles found in India and Africa have a name that means snake with a hood in Portuguese?
Cobra.
Yes. Which song from the musical Paint Your Wagon contains the line, "Do I know where hell is? Hell is in hello."
I was born under a wandering star.
Yes. What is the minimum height in feet of a Munro, the Scottish mountains originally listed by and named after Sir Hugh Munro?
Don't know. Pass.
Which novelist moved to Lyme Regis, the setting for one of his most celebrated works in the 1960s, and died at his home there in November 2005?
French lieutenant's woman, forgotten his name. Pass.
Which prehistoric man, supposedly unearthed in Sussex around 1910, was exposed as a fake after scientific investigations in 1953?
Piltdown Man.
Yes, what is the literal meaning of the word defenestration, as in the defenestration of Prague?
Pulling down of barriers.
No, to throw someone out of a window. In which form of gambling are horses drawn out by lot with all the participants' pooled money going to the winner?
Lottery. No,
Sweepstake. Which well-known comedian and actor's real Christian names are Lenworth George?
Lenny Henry.
Yes. What did Dr. Johnson define as a grain which in England is generally given to horses but in Scotland supports the people?
Barley.
Oates. Which British Prime Minister and son of a Presbyterian minister was born in a village in New Brunswick, Canada in September 1858?
Ramsay MacDonald.
Andrew Bonalaw. You had 4 passes. John Fowles was the Lyme Regis man. 3,000 feet is the height of a Munro. It has to be at least 3,000 feet. Gulliver's Travels is where they rode over the fat end or thin end of the egg. And Bamber Gascoigne was the television quiz master.
10, yes.
4 passes. Chris Bitton, 17 points.
Thank you.
And now Bernie Doza, please. Well, I'm intrigued by the way you describe yourself. Television extra and student. And the TV extra one is the thing that'll interest us all because we all wonder about that. How do you do it? I mean, how do you get a job, is it?
We just sign up with an agency. If you can get an agency to take you on, then you just have to wait for the agency to phone you up and say, there's a job next week, are you available?
And can anybody be? Well, I suppose they can.
Pretty much anybody, yes.
Does it help to look a bit odd, you know, very tall, very... I mean, forgive me, that sounded incredibly rude, and it wasn't meant to be.
They'd really like to have on their books people from, you know, with every kind of body shape and age and different people, that's what they like.
So you came into the normal range then, obviously.
Well, a lot of the TV extras are either students who are trying to earn extra money or they're people who've been retired for a while. So they really try and find people within the age of about 30 to sort of mid-50s who... they're a bit short of people in that age range.
Really?
So, yeah.
You hear these stories about you're not allowed to approach the stars
No.
and stuff. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So what happens if you do? I mean...
we get told off, yeah. You can talk to them if they talk to you.
Right. Anyway, you enjoy it and you do
I
it
do,
for fun.
yeah,
That's the point.
absolutely.
Good. You have 10 points. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. Which general crossed the Alps in 218 BC on his way to invade Italy with an army that included elephants?
Pass.
Which novel by the Russian-born author Vladimir Nabokov has been made into 2 controversial films in 1962 and 97?
Lolita?
Yes, in October 2006, the economist Sir Nicholas Stern published an alarming report on the economic effects of what?
Global warming?
Yes, Queen Christina was the monarch of which country from 1632 until her abdication in 1654?
Denmark?
Sweden. Which BBC television sports programme was first shown on the 11th of October 1958 and ended on 28th of January 2007?
Grandstand?
Yes, in carpentry, what term is used for the enlargement of the rim of a drilled hole so that a screw or bolt can be inserted flush with the surface?
Pass.
Which London Underground line, built to relieve overcrowding on the Bakerloo line, was originally to have been called the Fleet Line?
Piccadilly?
Jubilee. Chittagong is the largest seaport and second largest city of which Asian country?
Pass.
When referring to a mobile phone text message, what does the abbreviation SMS stand for?
Simple...
No, I'll stop you at that point. Short message service. Which bird closely related to the swallow has such tiny feet that it's unable to perch, though its sharp claws allow it to cling to vertical surfaces?
Pass.
Which expression said to have originated when Robert, Marquess of Salisbury, appointed his nephew Arthur Balfour as Chief Secretary for Ireland in 1887?
Pass.
Cliff Richard's song The Millennium Prayer combined the words of the Lord's Prayer with which traditional tune?
Pass.
What is the common name of Amorpha phallus titanum, one of the largest flowers in the world, which has a distinctive odour of rotting flesh?
It's a fern, no.
It's not a fern, I'll tell you. It's Titan lily. In 1930, which German boxer became the first European of the 20th century to win the World Heavyweight Championship?
Pass.
I started just, so I'll finish. In Pilgrim's Progress, in which town through which the pilgrims passed on the way to the Celestial City did Beelzebub, Apollyon and Legion set up a fair?
Canterbury?
No, Vanity, hence presumably Vanity Fair, which is interesting, isn't it? Max Schmeling was the world heavyweight champion. That's one of your 7 passes. Old Lang Syne was Cliff Richard's tune, or rather the tune for the Millennium Prayer. Bob's Your Uncle came from that chap being appointed by Robert Marquis of Salisbury. The Swift is the bird with those tiny feet that can't perch properly. Bangladesh is where Chittagong is. Countersinking is what happens when you put a screw in, flush the surface. And Hannibal crossed the Alps with the elephants, as you know, of course. 7 passes. Bernie Doza, 13 points. And now John Bald, please. Now, interesting here, you've taken Nelson and Collingwood, both great admirals, taken them both together. Why is that?
These men were best friends. They worked together all their lives. Nelson made a lot of friends. Collingwood made very few. He went in for micromanagement. He worked too hard. He worked himself to death, unfortunately. Great man, but the two of them together, I think, were an item. And it's a pity that people have sometimes tried to advance one at the expense of the other, really.
And they were together when Nelson was killed?
Well, Collingwood was on his own ship.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
Trafalgar was
same
effectively 2 battles,
Yeah.
and Collingwood fought half of it. And Nelson would certainly never have wanted to do anything without Collingwood.
Well, a lot of people will be intrigued by that. 12 points is your score at the moment. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. Who was nominated for a Best Actor Oscar for his role as Rhett Butler in the film Gone with the Wind?
Clark Gable.
Correct. Which historic city on the coast of Croatia has been called the Pearl of the Adriatic and the South Slav Athens?
Dubrovnik.
Yes, sweet and morello are the 2 main types of which fruit?
Cherry.
Yes, what term is used, especially in America, for a president or other official who has waning power and influence?
Lame duck.
Correct. Which astronomer who was born in Bingley, West Yorkshire in 1915 was a leading proponent of the now discredited steady-state theory of the universe?
Pass.
Which country withdrew from the integrated military command of NATO in 1966 but remained a member of the organisation?
France.
Yes. Whose Single Way Down topped the charts for 5 weeks after his death in 1977?
Roy Orbison.
Elvis Presley. Which species of macaque, sacred to the Hindus, is often used in medical research?
Pass.
Which well-known musical instrument is mouth-blown, has a conical bore chanter with a double reed and 3 drones with single reeds?
And bagpipe.
Yes. What name is given to 29th of May, the birthday of Charles II, to commemorate the restoration of the monarchy in 1660?
Pass.
Which of Shakespeare's comedies includes the characters Holofernes, the schoolmaster, and Costard, the clown?
Twelfth Night.
Love's Labour's Lost. Gideon Drubb, who lived from 1391 to about 1475, was the first person to bear which title in the Buddhist religion?
Pass.
Which Dutch painter's Laughing Cavalier was completed in 1624?
Franz Hals.
Yes, under what name does the former actress Linda Titchmarsh write television dramas such as Trial and Retribution?
Linda LaPlante.
Yes, a person suffering from celiac disease is intolerant to which protein found in wheat and rye?
Gluten.
Yes. What is the nationality of the goalkeepers Casey Keller, Brad Friedel and Tim Howard,
American.
all of whom have played in the English Football Premiership?
US. American.
Yes. In an essay of 1756, which French writer described the Holy Roman Empire as neither holy nor Roman nor an empire?
Voltaire.
Yes. Which 3-letter prefix is used to denote new, young or revived in a new form? Take a quick guess.
BFI.
No, Neo.
Neo. Thank you.
Yes. These are your 4 passes. Gideon Drubb was the first Dalai Lama. Oak Apple Day is the 29th of May, the birthday of Charles II. Rhesus monkey is sacred to the Hindus. And Fred Hoyle came up with the steady-state theory of the universe, since discredited. 4 passes, John Bald, 23 points. And finally, Katie Bramall, please. And you are a doctor about to become a GP?
That's right. That's right. GP registrar.
Why do you want to do it? I mean, it's such a... You can see the appeal on a kind of short-term basis, you know, but doing it day in, day out, seeing a load of grumpy old sick people, well, not necessarily old.
For every patient that tries to assault you in A&E, or every patient that has gone to Google and endless American sites and is telling you which specialist they want to see, what their diagnosis is, how they really are, you're just being simply inconvenienced by seeing you. There are a million other patients who are grateful, who are respectful, and who it is a pleasure to treat and a pleasure to look after. And being a GP, one of the beauties of that is the continuity of care. You don't see them operate and say goodbye. That's what I found frustrating when I was working in obstetrics and gynecology in secondary care. In GP, you have the pleasure and the privilege of seeing the patient from cradle to grave.
Now, you have 17 points already, which is a high score. The score to beat, though, is 23. Let's see if you can do it with your general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. What name that comes from the Persian for wool is given to the fine shawls made from cashmere and silk that are popular in the West?
Pashmina.
Yes. Which former tennis player married Andre Agassi in October 2001, giving birth to their son 4 days later?
Steffi Graf.
Yes. Which Australian state, formed in 1859 from the northern portion of the colony of New South Wales, was originally to be called Cooksland?
Queensland.
Yes. What's the title of Zadie Smith's 2006 Orange Prize-winning novel, said by the author to be an homage to E.M. Forster's Howard's End?
White Teeth.
On Beauty. Which comedy drama series, first shown in 1998, starred James Nesbitt and Helen Baxendale and focused on the lives and loves of 3 Manchester-based couples?
Cold Feet.
Correct. Which soldier and statesman married Elizabeth Bocher, the daughter of a London merchant, in August 1620?
Pass.
Who in ancient Greek and Roman mythology was the muse of lyric poetry and dancing?
Cleo.
Terpsichore. The dish paella is said to have originated in and is particularly associated with which region of Spain?
Andorra.
Valencia. The novel Daniel Deronda was written by Mary Ann Evans using what pen name?
George Eliot.
Correct. In which town does the Bishop of Durham have his official residence?
Durham.
Bishop Auckland. What name is given to the large stomach chamber that many plant-eating mammals use to break down their food before it's regurgitated into their mouth?
Ruminant.
Yes. Which film actress used to travel incognito in the 1950s using the name Zelda Zonk as one of her aliases?
Marilyn Monroe.
Correct. Which composer's Piano Concerto No. 21 was adapted as the theme music for the 1967 Swedish film Elvira Madigan?
Haydn.
Mozart. What title is traditionally but not invariably held by the eldest daughter of the British sovereign?
Princess Royal.
Yes. Who set up a whiskey distillery in Lynchburg, Tennessee in 1866, which is now the oldest registered distillery in America?
Jack Daniels.
Yes. Which all-girl pop group formed in the 1990s were originally called Touch?
Spice Girls.
Yes. Who was the defendant in the case IT 0254, which began in The Hague in 2002?
Pass.
Now largely superseded by pocket calculators, which device for performing calculations was invented by the clergyman and mathematician William Oughtred, who was born in the 1570s?
Abacus.
The slide rule, but you were close. You had 2 passes. Milosevic was the defendant in that case, and Oliver Cromwell married Elizabeth Bocher. 2 passes. Katie Bramall, 27 points. So, at the end of the contest, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 13 points, Bernie Doza. In 3rd place with 17 points, Chris Bitton. 2nd place with 23 points, John Bald. In 1st place with 27 points, Katie Bramall. Which means, of course, that she goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to her. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Keep quizzing. Anne Robinson is in control with The Weakest Link next here on BBC Two. Then it's food through the early afternoon, showcasing Scottish delicacies in the Great British Menu at 2:15. Then across the water for a taste of Ireland in a classic Floyd on Food here at 2:45.